So specifically, this is a little bit different because we're trying to find the specific data value when we're given a percentile. So if it would be something like, how much does Juniper weigh if she's in the 60th percentile? That would be the situation where it's at. So, or what is somebody's IQ if they're in the 90th percentile? Where you're actually trying to find the specific, um, answer to the question when you're given their percentile. So, if I look at the data set, and I put it in order from smallest to largest. Again, this is where Excel would probably be helpful. Um, we're going to assume that I already did that. So for step one, we're going to assume that it's already in order from smallest to largest. And we're going to count the number of data values and then multiply that number by the percentile rank we're looking for. Okay. And it wants you to call that L. So our second step, there was 20 uh, data points. So we are going to do 20 data values times, I'm going to circle the one and the two, so you know the steps. 20 times the percentile rank. So 20 times, um, sorry, I didn't go to the question down here. We're looking at the 80th percentile. 20 times the 80th percentile. And we want to write that as 20 times 0.8. Okay. That is going to be equal to L, which specifically is 16. Okay, so again, that 16 does not mean the 16th percentile. It does not mean 16%. It does not mean they scored a 16. That specifically is talking about their position in the set. Okay, so you want to think about that as their 16th position in the set. So L is a whole number. So we're looking at step three. Specifically, L is a whole number. So looking at step three, if L is a whole number, then the data value corresponds to our given percentile is halfway between the value of the Lth position from the bottom and the next higher value. So if I that's super wordy. Again, L is not a whole number. That's a different scenario. So 4 doesn't even apply here. So we're just going to go through and look at the 16th position, and then we'll deal with step 3. So when I cross these off, um, by hand, I just put it in order, kind of like this. Again, probably kind of lame to do it this way, but 93 was the 18th, 82 was the 12th, 64 was the 5th, and then 8, and I'm going to go above and below. That was the 19th, 52 was the first, so the lowest, then the 9th, then the 14th, then the 90 was the 16th when I put this in order. 71 was the 6th, 78 was the 10th, and hopefully that's making a little bit of sense that I'm just going, instead of actually ordering it out one by one, hopefully you're seeing what I'm talking about here. So 55 was the second lowest, 64 was the fourth lowest, 99 was the 20th. So again, that was the highest score. 17 is 91, 13, 15, 3, 7, and 11. So thanks for being patient there. So what would the data value be at the 80th percentile? So we need to look at the 16th position. Doing red, 16th position. And the 17th position. So the 16th was 90. The 17th was 91. And so if I'm following the instructions up there, it says if L is a whole number, then the data value corresponding to our given percentile is halfway between the value of the Lth position from the bottom and the next higher value. So the 80th percentile is halfway in between these. So 90.5 is the 80th percentile. Again, kind of a weird thing there. 4 did not apply because our L, which again was 16 up there, was a whole number. So 4 only applies if L is not a whole number. So you kind of you either pick step 3 or step 4. Okay. So as you can see, nobody scored in the 80th percentile because there was no 90.5 score. Okay. Looking, if you look at 91, again, 91 represents their raw score, and the 17th position is where they're at. That has nothing to do with the 91st percentile. That has nothing to do with the 17th percentile. 91 would be something either like the 81st percentile, or probably it's going to be some decimal. Okay. So if we do something similar for the second part, it says which score is at the 62nd percentile. So again, our first step is put them in order, which we kind of did up there. We cheated a little bit. That's okay. Second step was to take the number of values, which was 20, and we want to multiply it by the 62nd percentile. Okay. When I multiply those together, I believe I get 12.4, and that is my L from step 2. So again, it's kind of hard to scroll back and forth, but 2 is that L. 2 is where you get the L step. 3, I'm going to skip because L is a decimal. And following the instructions, it says if L is not a whole number, round it to the next whole number. So round it up. Again, a common thing people want to do is they want to round that to 12, but notice those directions say round up. We're going to round it up to 13. Okay. So specifically, we are looking for the 13th position. So this is telling me look for the 13th position of the data set. Okay, so that 13th position, it looks like it is 83. So that 83 score is the 13th percentile.